Welcome to the show. I am your host, Amy Carlson. And today on the She4 show, as part of this special series just for you, that is all about it's not what you think. Health and wellness myths debunked. Are you ready for this? I have been so excited gathering all of this, creating this special series, because these are things that, doggone it, annoy me to no end, that we don't have more clarity on these things in our lives. So today, our topic is cholesterol. I don't know about you. If you don't battle with cholesterol, then you may not care about this and you might just fast forward on to another one. But chances are somebody you know could benefit from this information. So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about what we've heard about cholesterol and why you might have high cholesterol. When I was younger, I paid attention to my cholesterol because seriously, from the get-go, I think the first time I had my cholesterol tested, I was 18 or 19, and it was in the quote unquote high range or keep an eye on kind of range. And I remember thinking, how can that be? I'm so young. How could this already be to this point? And so from that age, I started paying attention to what I was being told at the time. Well, maybe you should cut out eggs. Maybe you should cut out butter, cheese, all of those things. So I went through various times in my life of cutting those things out, avoiding them to some degree. But those are all yummy things. So it never lasted too long for me. And throughout my blood work history, my cholesterol has continued to be in that range that they want to keep an eye on. So far, nobody had said, hey, you need to go on this medication, which I had already made my mind up I was not interested in. But this has been really an ongoing thing for me. Now, imagine, to my surprise, how amazed I was to find out when I started looking into food as medicine and looking at food first to help with anything that ails us. I'm not against medicine. It's just that if I can work with the foods that I put in my body and then see a result that I desire, then I'm going to do that first and go from there. So that's what I've been doing, this whole food first thing and finding which foods work for my own chemistry, helping others find their friendly foods that I like to call them that work for their chemistry. We're all unique. So there was red flag number one when I heard or believed that there were just these few things that could cause high cholesterol. And if you cut them out of your diet, you should have better cholesterol numbers. So let's get this straight. Any food that is not friendly to your system, meaning it just doesn't work with your chemistry. You can't argue with the fact that we are chemistry. So within each of us, we have this certain kind of balance and imbalance with all of the chemistry going on, pH balance, nutritional balance, all the different things, water balance. And that means that each of us, the foods that we need, that list of foods looks different. There is no one size fits all kind of diet that would work well for everyone. And so when you begin to find out what foods are friendly to your system, then that means that your system naturally becomes less inflamed. And I know that we all are eager to have bodies that have little or no inflammation going on, especially chronic inflammation. Now, acute inflammation, that's a whole other story. When you get a cut, of course, you want your inflammatory system to work to keep that cut clean and not let any invaders into your body in that way. But chronic inflammation, we understand now, can cause a whole host of diseases. And before they get to the disease stage, there's a whole bunch of dis-ease. And again, little red flags letting us know that something is wrong. So here's what happened for me. When I did the work to find out which foods are friendly for my system now, it is a process, and it can shift over time. So just knowing that we are dynamic, it makes sense. And when I started eating those foods that were on my personalized, friendly list of foods, within a month, my cholesterol levels went down 20 points. They're probably down even further now because I've been doing that now for a few months. But to see those numbers change that rapidly, where over years' time, I had been working on this and didn't really see any change, trying to cut out those foods that I happen to like cheese and eggs and butter. Now I'm eating them, the forms of them that are friendly to my system, and my cholesterol is looking great. So here's the thing. Any food in your system that's not friendly to your chemistry is going to wreak some havoc. You will start showing signs of inflammation. And that is part of the cycle with cholesterol as well. So it only tends to reason that if you cut out some of those foods that you have discovered are inflammatory for you, or in other words, don't work with your chemistry, you will notice your lab work coming back with results that you will be happy about. On my last lab panel, not only did my cholesterol improve dramatically in a month, but my thyroid also improved to the point, my numbers improved to the point that my doctor, with the blessings of my doctor, I was able to cut down my thyroid medication. My vitamin D levels improved, as well as my iron levels. All of these things I had been in a bit of a battle with in the last year or two, and all of those things happen to be related. Of course, everything in our body is connected, right? So I just want to report to you, if you are like me and having thought for years that there were certain general foods that you had to cut out of your diet if you wanted to see change in your cholesterol, well, let's get rid of that lie, and let's put this out there that the only foods that are going to raise your cholesterol are going to be the foods that are unfriendly to your system. So take some time, figure out what those are. One of my favorite books that on this topic is by Linjane Recitas, and it's called The Plan. You can also connect with us through my She-Force Coach website and check out the program called the Nourish Lab, which will take you through the whole series of figuring out the things that work for you for a sustainable lifestyle of joy, vitality, and delight. Thanks for joining today, and look for the next video, audio, all about It's Not What You Think. Health and wellness myths debunked.